All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
a
Berserk.
New show.
A new show, yes. Oh my gosh, episode 1.
That's right.
Of this legendary show.
Yes.
It's so weird that I've heard so much about something that came out in,
97.
97.
The anime, the manga.
The anime, yes. And we are watching this in sub, guys.
Yeah.
In particular, I have heard that basically this is just one of those, like good fantasies, just one of those really good medieval fantasy kind of thing, and it's very influential as far as things go. But the main thing you guys need to know is that I have not seen or know really much of anything about this show. But Jacob, however,
I have seen it. It was a while ago, and very excited to rewatch it because I've only watched through this once.
Right.
That was all in a big marathon
right, and that was a
couple years ago.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So not that long ago.
Not that long ago, but I've watched a lot of anime since then, and I watched this show in a very short amount of time.
So you probably remember the key points, but not really the
I don't really remember the episode by
details.
episode details. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun to rewatch it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of excited about this return to format because back when we did the Attack on Titan reactions way back when, there was this really cool dynamic where Jacob did a very good job of keeping his straight face on and really kind of keeping the discussion guided towards a point that was high quality. And then I would refrain from asking him direct questions so that he wouldn't react in any way, but then kind of speculate on things that would help guide the discussion towards what could possibly happen next.
Yes.
So I'm excited to do this again, guys.
Yeah.
And look forward to Berserk. So without further ado, let's get into it. In this world, is the destiny of mankind controlled by some transcendental entity? Okay. Or law? Is it like the hand of God hovering above? I like this. Philosophical questions. At least it is true that man has no control, even over his own will. Oh, fate? This guy is, the protagonist, yeah.
One of the things I love about this whole opening shot here is how it sets the atmosphere for everything.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stories wouldn't be willing to have this much time pass without dialogue or something action or something to grab the viewer's attention.
Right. Ooh. Slaves?
この頃じゃミッドランドの五条家さえなんだか暗いからな。やっぱりグリフィスってやつが国王になったせいかね。ダメですよ、そんなこと言っちゃ。どこで聞かれてるか。ほら。
The lecherous guys in a tavern, they're gonna get owned by our main hero. Jeez. Yeah.
親父、酒だ。ほら、酒だよ、早くしろよ。
Might is right.
ちゃんと継がねえとこぼしちまうぜ。
これと。
Someone knows her?
どうか、これとを許してください。
Rip this guy. Oh, crap.
つけんだよ。じじい。
Her father, probably. Oh, grandpa.
先にぶつかってきたのはそっちだろうが。
さあ、お嬢ちゃん、俺にもついでくんな。
And everyone just turns a blind eye.
とうとうこぼしちまったぜ。まったくしつけのなってねえお嬢ちゃんだ。
ほら、お嬢ちゃん、こぼしたやつをきれいに舐めとりな。さあ。
Oh shoot! Oh! Oh!
ガバル誰だ
Oh, this is someone else.
なんだ
Or
貴
wait.
様俺たちが
No, it
誰
might
だ
be
か分か
him.
ってんのか
What? What?
てめえこんなことをしてただで済むとは思うなよ
This
お
guy.
前らの親玉に会いたい
なんだと
Oh. Whoa. One of his throwing knives. Yeah, the ones on his chest. Oh, nice! This guy's a badass!
後付けを頼みたい黒い剣士が来た
Whoa.
それだけでいい
Oh, the mood is set. Oh my
黒い剣
god.
士だと
そうだ
Whoa. Oh. Whoa. Holy crap. That sword's not even, like, practical.
No, that's a park bench.
Yeah. Yeah, the black swordsman indeed. Holy crap.
Yep.
頼んだぜ
Is he talking about the king Griffith?
黒ずくめの男です
Yes, that's what he called the black
早打ち
swordsman.
のできる弓矢と身の丈を越すような大きな剣で城の
Yeah, I
連
want to see
中
that
をあっ
repeating
という
crossbow
間に
in action.
お方に何と申し開きを
Okay,
す
so
れ
this
ばよ
isn't
い
the
の
king.
か大臣をここへ呼べ
すぐに
奴がここへ来た
Oh.
黒い剣
Oh. Not human. Not human. Some kind of dark elf or something? They're all searching the town. He's like, yeah, I'm not even there, man.
Yeah.
I've got better things to do, like sleeping.
Yep.
I'm getting a creepy, like otherworldly vibe.
また貴様たちが
Oh, okay. This is all like good show, not tell stuff. Oh, my butt just clenched. Oh my gosh, what?
I love how they do this.
黙れ
Holy crap. Oh, dang. He made some kind of a deal. Yeah, yeah. Holy crap. Oh, these are... I don't actually know how to guess what... I feel like I have to remember everything. 'Cause this... Wow. This imagery is really good. Holy crap.
グリフィス
Okay. Dang, this guy is haunted. I can't wait to get into his backstory. Holy crap.
その男は黒い剣士と名乗ったそうだ
So he's got some notoriety.
生贄も金も今までの倍出させてもらう
Oh,
あの男も
shoot.
必ずや捕らえて連れてくるだから
わしはそれなりのもてなしをしたいのだ豪華の中逃げ惑う人間たちの悲鳴馬に踏みしだかれて砕ける骨の音そういった宴の席を用意したいだけなのだよ
Oh, here we go. What the heck?
町の者を皆殺しにしろ。全てを焼き払ってしまえ。
I love the music in this show.
This is their welcome for one guy.
何なんだ一体この騒ぎは。大臣殿。
Oh, jeez. He just walks out of the shadows.
Yeah.
Through the flame. I think I'm starting to realize why this show is called Berserk.
Yuri!
Alright. This can't be helped. Now we have to get into the real fight here. Yeah, he's not a normal human, I don't think.
It's the idea that like there's that anime trope with the people that with like the massive swords and everything. But, like, what if it actually was as terrifying?
Annotations there. Connotations. Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh. What the hell? Oh, his real form. What the heck? This show is starting off crazy. What the
It is,
heck?
isn't it?
I like that he doesn't really seem to have a superpower. He's just a really big guy.
Yeah.
Like,
But he can still get hurt just like any other person, you know.
What? 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 Oh, you're dead now. Oh! Oh! Oh, crap. What the heck? Oh, yeah, make it hurt.
だがその人間がどれほど切り刻まれ突き刺されてもそれでも生き続けなきゃならないとしたら
Jeez, this guy's not a lawful good. Let's just say that.
Not exactly.
What is this trinket? It's like a symbol, some kind of talisman. Looks like lips and an eye. Jeez, the music is good.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Flashback. Wow, what a way to start a show.
You have now been introduced to Berserk.
Yeah. Like, one of the things that I noticed in particular was they gave the show this kind of dark, brooding, kind of almost oppressive feeling like in the beginning. Almost a little bit inverse of what you'd expect from kind of a, I don't know, kind of an action show in particular. Because usually what they do in the typical action show is they show a peaceful village, and then everything was fine until the evil thing came and ruined everything. But this seems to be a little bit
They're starting out with
in
everything
reverse.
evil.
Yeah. And I'm really wondering, like, is this going to be a show with, like, two timelines? So, like, they have, you know, what's going on in the present. and they just keep flashing back more to add context. Because in particular, this main character, the Black Swordsman,
right?
Don't know his name yet. The Black Swordsman is a great, like, simple, notorious kind of like Ronin outlaw kind of like like human weapon, you know, kind of thing where you hear about him and his tales are so legendary and his massive sword. And it's like he's larger than life, but in the end, he's a regular human amongst whatever those things are. Now here's the thing. Mm-hmm. This could be one of those like humans versus monsters shows. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that there's a main character kind of antagonist person already defined thus far in Griffith. And
whoever that is.
And whoever that is, this main character has like a real hatred of. But the vibe I get is that like there seems to be like these puppets behind things. These that's not puppets, these puppeteers. Like the people that were haunting him, they didn't seem human either. And I feel like there's this race of like people that are like they can't truly look like people, and people know that they're not people. They're like monsters, but they're not. So I'm trying to figure out how that ties into the bit in the beginning where they were talking about man's destiny, man's choice being determined by some kind of, you know, extra dimensional being that
like
you
the
know
hand
removes
of God
free will.
Above.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the age-old question: is free will really a thing? Because if we had some kind of extra dimensional being that was omnipotent,
that was like controlling us,
right? Or if you take more of one of the theories that's going around nowadays, like if we live in a simulation, the whole idea of free will feels a little bit silly. Like it feels a little bit almost like non-existent. So they bring that up, and then they jump to this character who's this just behemoth of a guy.
Yep.
And like, let me know like what are kind of the vibes you think this episode was maybe intentionally trying to give off in terms of themes and stuff, because I can catch a couple of them.
I love how they you know, the whole dark and oppressive setting that they set up. You know, I love anytime rain is used.
Yes, rain was used to great effect
for setting a like a tone, and they did that really well in this episode, which I love. But then like the whole idea of this character that's this big behemoth person with, you know, the big ducking sword and all that, but they didn't make it seem like it was a superpower thing, right? Like you pointed out, very much that this is a person that happens to be, you know, incredibly large, incredibly strong, all that stuff, but you know, against some monster thing, there's still not really anything you can do, even with your big ducking sword.
He is branded by some kind of rune, and I'm guessing that's based on the fact that they have runes and brands and some kind of monstrous entities in this show. What I'm guessing the magic side of things will be is more along the lines of this like kind of the darker side of magic, where you make deals with like you know, like warlocks or
selling
like
your soul and all that stuff,
to like literal like devils, essentially, like those spirit ghosts kind of things seemed more like something haunting him specifically because he chose like power at the cost of some aspect of his humanity.
Sure, yeah.
And it's that kind of really good, like, classic thing of
kind of grimdark sort of way of doing things. Not
like he went
Harry Potter's school of witchcraft. And wizardry.
He literally went to the crossroads and was like, I want the ability to stop this Griffith. And they're like, yes, if you want the power, you must
sign on the dotted line.
You must give us your body, your very soul, even. Because there was this aspect about his character where he seemed to be walking with a burden.
Yes, I love how they do that.
It's a very typical thing, but the way they presented it was so good because he walked tall. He walked tall but not proud. Like
exactly.
It was this.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well
okay.
said.
Okay. I thought I was catching on to something there because he seemed to be weighed down by just the past, and it's a very easy thing to kind of let your rogue kind of one badass one man army guy just kind of walking like, I have a horrible backstory.
Yeah, the most tragic backstory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but
no one understands me.
But when he walked into the room, they did this thing where anime does this a lot, where they'll shadow the eyes. Mm-hmm. But because he was wearing a hood,
it makes a lot more sense.
It makes a lot more sense. But he was not only doing that; he was also like looking down. Like he was
right.
Okay, so there's this thing where people do where they square their shoulders and they walk straight and they look like straight ahead. That's like a little bit of pride, you know. It's a little bit of I carry myself because people, you know, I deserve respect. I deserve to be, and that kind of thing is, I would say, a positive outlook. There's everything in moderation, of course. You don't want to be too arrogant. But this guy, besides the burden of carrying a big freaking sword on his back, he was.
Yep.
He seemed to be a broken guy, and then when they had the haunting bit in the forest, I feel like they just dramatically introduced perfectly this character.
Yep. It was this great contradiction because you have the idea of the mysterious, like badass, you know, awesome character that was in the tavern,
right?
And then right after that, you show him being scared and all this stuff, and you know, and these whatever these things are actually getting to him,
right?
In a way that a lot of stories wouldn't do because they can't take away from the coolness of their main protagonist.
Yeah. If anything, the other way that was shown was that he was not winning against the monster.
Exactly. Yep.
He recognized like, oh, it's that monster, like it's that type of creature or something, and he's like, uh-oh, I better be careful. And this thing transformed and became some kind of snake four-legged snake, scorpion, not scorpion, cobra kind of thing. Right. And it's like, geez, we're dealing with something else here.
Right.
But, okay, the weirdest bit is, though, I'm thinking about, like, how this is going to go into the next episode, but they showed a flashback at a time that seemed a little bit kind of anticlimactic in a way. Like, they're taking you really out of the conflict to show, like, all right, now we're going to give you a little bit of context to all this stuff we just kind of showed you.
Yeah.
And you don't really know any of what it is based on just
just
pattern
that, like,
matching.
He seems younger, you know.
Yes, I'm guessing. I'm guessing that's the guy, and I'm pretty sure it's like 99% confirmed, right? Like he looks pretty similar.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, is it a secret? Like, can you not tell?
No, it's not a secret or anything. It's like, okay, here's this guy, and then they.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I would love to know, at least kind of where. What brought him to this place? Because I don't think
that is the question.
I don't think I really care too much about his conflict with Griffith right now. I'm more interested to see, like, why does he feel like, why is he haunted? Like, why?
Yeah, what made him the person he is?
What made him the person? Yeah, what made him the Black Swordsman?
Right.
Because generally speaking, the lone kind of swordsman, Ronin, kind of wandering samurai thing, it comes that way because of them, usually a combination of them doing something horrible, probably killing some innocents or something like that. And we've seen that this guy's not on the morally good side of things.
Right.
He has some definite shades of gray in there.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's awesome. But I'm guessing that it's not only just that he did some things that were morally reprehensible, is that he's gone through things with other people. So he doesn't he didn't, go through life alone, the whole time.
Sure, they did very much focus that he was alone in this episode.
Right. And he probably had some falling out with the group that he was in, maybe because of the things that he did. And if anything, I'm looking to see kind of what are the personal motivations, because it seems like right now he's got like some kind of I must kill this guy.
Right, and
vengeance,
and that's nothing really new.
No,
they do a great job of showing it,
Yeah.
but that in and of itself, anyone can do that, really.
Right, and also I'm guessing that based on, this is something very clever that they did, they started the time of day at night, and night carries with it this dark, mysterious, the things of the night, and the creatures of the night, and they had that, and then they shifted everything to chaos and fire and just like this really terrifying kind of aspect to it. But then when they did the flashback, it was suddenly daytime, and it's more of the things are more bright and hopeful, and this is a time before like whatever ruined this guy's life into making him the Black Swordsman, because I'm guessing that as the Black Swordsman, he's like they're dealing with the free will thing in the beginning. Part of it was choice, and part of it was probably not choice, like in that aspect of I didn't choose this life.
Well, and one of the things that I really like about this episode is how they don't have a whole lot of dialogue in this episode. They do a lot of showing, and when they actually have characters kind of exposit a little bit.
It was just those two guys at the tavern, really. That was it.
Yeah. There's the two guys at the tavern.
Yeah.
But but the thing that really made this because think about like the whole idea of some person fighting a monster, right? For me, I would not be disposed to care about that, right?
That's true.
That would not be something that would inherently make me interested in a show if they have that as the first episode, right?
Totally.
It's like, okay, monsters, and someone fights them, and they have a big sword.
Yeah.
Great. but the way they made him struggle when he was fighting the creature, right? I thought that was awesome, and the way they had him make that statement of, how humans get, they can get beaten and broken, and the pain and the struggle and all that stuff. That's, moving on, and that whole idea of the human will,
right?
It's like it's that great way to wrap up the question that they bring up in the
very beginning about free will, and is there some kind of being in the sky, basically like controlling and manipulating all of people, and then they juxtaposed that as him basically saying, I fight against that notion by the fact that I am a human that struggles, and I
am directly fighting against something that is kind of beyond my comprehension.
Yes, and that thing was essentially enacting its will upon the people in a judgment kind of wrath of God kind of way. But also he is ignoring the reality that he is being controlled in some way by beings, if you will, that have some kind of magic, dark, sorcery something over him.
Yeah.
So I like that. It's a contradiction. Again, we love those, but it's more so a thing of a flaw for the character.
Right.
Now, the character has some flaws already, just, on base perception, like base observation. Just a couple. But the one of him being a person that maybe rejects the idea of control. That's probably why he's also alone. Generally, those types of people are more individualistic and seek out, kind of act their own will. It's like like this guy probably would rather die than be a true sellsword. Like he probably does, do jobs for the people. He's got to eat, somehow. But like, I don't know. He seems to be more on his own kind of personal mission rather than being what people in those days who had skill with a sword would tend towards, is just being a sellsword.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that, again, I love about this episode, because in this one episode, they did not actually tell us his name.
No.
Just that he's the Black Swordsman.
Yeah.
They did not tell us, they said basically that he was at least antagonistic towards, the King Griffith and, and the soldiers or whatever, tell your master, the Black Swordsman's here.
I'm coming for
you. Yeah. But they didn't really go into it. They left it mysterious, and I love that because as far as starts to a story go, a lot of times, especially for me, I have trouble finishing a story when I start it, because I'll just be like, okay, I'll be like, all right, there's a lot of stories I want to go through, so I'll just give it that like that little bit to try it out, and if it doesn't hook me, it won't be that I'll intentionally drop it because I'll be like, oh, that's a bad story. I'll just be like, I'll pick that up, I'll pick that up sometime, but not now, and then that ends up being never.
Gotcha.
And this story with this episode is just, I love it.
Yeah, I really like it too. It also carried with it a lot of the kind of dark fantasy vibes of something like Game of Thrones.
Yes.
But it went a little bit more into the kind of the classical thing of having like legitimate monsters. Like Game of Thrones tries to stay away from that and focus on more of the political stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the lecherous, mercenaries in the tavern basically planning to group rape a girl after they've had their drink and stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, I get like it sets the it sets the
rating, so to
speak.
Right,
the rating system for this show.
Yeah, exactly.
But then right after that, they like, oh, in case you didn't like have you had a little bit of questions about that. This show's going to be very bloody too. Right. Like he cleaved people in half, like multiple times.
And that's one of the other things I love about this is that they make it because the idea of actually using a sword that big in combat is
so impractical.
It's totally ridiculous.
If you have to block an attack, you're basically screwed.
Right.
You better just be swinging and hoping they don't get
this
close.
Wide circle, hoping that they can never get within range. But the idea is that if somehow someone was able to wield a sword that massive, that heavy, it wouldn't really be a sharp cutting instrument. It'd just be a bludgeoning thing that just... You don't have a problem over there anymore. It's just everything's just destroyed.
Like, you swing this way, and then you got no problems over there.
Yeah.
You swing this way, and you got no problems over there.
Yeah. Like,
and then all the people that were watching were out there. You don't have any problems over there either because they just ran the other way.
Yeah.
So I get the vibe that this is the type of character who probably didn't because we saw him get the sword forged in the very beginning.
Yep.
But I'm guessing that he, seeing the flashback and stuff, he didn't start out with this big sword. So he's probably someone that, we'll get to see not only him, acquire these, crazy weapons like the repeating crossbow thing on his wrist.
Oh yeah.
The cannon attached to his arm that was cut off apparently and was some kind of
automail.
Yeah.
Thing.
I am really But that's actually a crazier bit. Wait a minute. Did we ever see his other hand? Was he swinging the sword with two hands? I think he was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so he had some kind of I don't know, some kind of metal hand or something. Okay. Yeah. I love when limbs are removed in stories and you have to replace them with something. Yeah. Even if it maybe makes you think wait, isn't this a
Do they have
fantasy?
the technology
for
that?
The technology for that?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So I think in the next episode they're going to give us probably a lot of backstory because there's a lot of time that they have to cover. But the question is what kind of show format are they going to do here? Because in particular, I think what they could do is they could blend in flashbacks with the present day and stuff. But it seems like he's already arrived essentially at where he needs to be to face down Griffith. But since they cut off in the middle, it's okay, when they come back, is it going to be basically him just taking on the entire castle or something? Does he have people that are waiting in ambush outside or something? I feel like he's alone.
Questions.
And I'm curious about the pacing /
You're trying to figure out whether this is going to be a linear storyline or an episodic thing, aren't you?
Kind of. I think the main thing is just that I've never seen the story start out with so much backstory
clearly not shown.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm guessing they won't go the full-on exposition route and just kind of tell us because that's not what they've shown us clearly thus far. So I'm excited.
Yep.
But yeah, if anything, I just let's watch the next episode. Yeah. I mean, guys, this is good stuff. I can't believe I didn't see this. I'm a really big sucker for fantasy, huge, big
good
sucker
fantasy.
For
so often
it's so
fantasy,
hard to find.
I know, because so often fantasy is an excuse for bad storytelling.
Yep.
But this show is great.
You know what's crazy? This whole first episode told us nothing about the world, really.
Nope. No.
That's can all you fantasy writers take a note here? It told us basically that yes, there are humans, there are monsters that are basically ruling over some humans in a city, and I think they gave us the name of the city, but who cares?
Right, and the name of the king.
And the name of the king, yeah. And that there's some kind of serfdom, fiefdom kind of thing going on there. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And then I guess the Black Swordsman as a name is some kind of world building, but
But
really
that's-
it's all
if
just a
anything-
character introduction. This entire episode is
And
a
again,
character introduction.
They didn't even really do like how many words did he actually say?
His time when he talked the most was when he was just repeatedly shooting the guy in the face.
Yep.
That was where he talked the
that
most.
was essentially
Other than
his
that,
character introduction.
Yeah. And if this is just a character show, like a main character and their kind of, journey, their kind of
would
they
be
become the
amazing,
Black
right?
Swordsman. I love that.
Because here's the thing with things like this, usually what the direction that the story will take is they're like, okay, well it's fantasy or it's sci-fi or or whatever, so we got to make sure that we have all that cool stuff that those things usually have, and they'll focus on the fights, the monsters, the world, the or whatever. If there's magic, then magic, and all those sorts of things. And they'll ignore the characters, usually the main character most of all, and it really sucks.
Yeah.
But like, what if you didn't do that?
Yeah, it's crazy. So guys, if you want to see the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access. You can watch full lengths there. You can get on our Discord there and chat with us about whatever. And yeah, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.